My own sister texted me, "Don't bother coming to the wedding. This isn't your day." No explanation, no phone call, no tears, just a cold sentence glowing on my screen. I laughed, closed the chapter on her perfect day, and instead booked myself a ticket to Hawaii. A week later, while sipping coffee at the airport, I watched her wedding unravel. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing, 110 missed calls. And that was only the beginning. Before I tell you everything, hit like and drop a comment letting me know where you're listening from. Have you ever been in a situation like this? Your stories remind me I'm not the only one. I grew up in a family where appearances meant more than love. To the outside world, we looked flawless, trimmed lawn, matching holiday sweaters, smiling faces in every photo. But behind the scenes, life revolved around my sister, Megan. Megan was the star, the pretty one, the loud one, the center of attention. And me, I was the quiet shadow, the one left to clean up the messes she created. Even as kids, the roles were carved in stone. Megan had the spotlight. I had the chores. She'd throw wild parties, and I'd be the one scrubbing stains out of the carpet the next morning. Our parents brushed it off as normal sibling stuff. But I understood early. My worth in that house came from what I could fix, not who I was. So when Megan got engaged, nobody batted an eye when I jumped in to help. After all, weddings weren't just something I did casually, they were my career. I'd built my own event planning business from the ground up, pouring myself into creating unforgettable nights for strangers who truly valued me. For Megan, I offered everything for free. Endless calls, late-night spreadsheets, vendor negotiations that would drive anyone crazy. I told myself it was love, that maybe this time she'd see me differently. Maybe our parents would finally look at me with the same pride they saved only for her. I thought all my effort would earn me a seat at the table, not just as her planner, but as her sister. Looking back now, it's almost laughable. The signs were always there, like mom quietly saying, "Don't make things harder for Megan. It's her day," or dad changing the subject every time I brought up my business. To them, I wasn't a professional. I wasn't even a daughter with limits. I was just free labor. As the big day got closer, that truth became harder to ignore. Every flower arrangement, every timeline, every call sheet. I poured myself into all of it, clinging to the hope it would finally be enough. But deep down, a voice whispered what I didn't want to face. No matter what I gave, it would never be enough. The first crack came late one night when Megan texted me. I expected a question about cakes or centerpieces. Instead, it read, "Can you cover the florist's final invoice? Your deposit didn't cover it. No, please. No, thank you." Just the assumption I'd pay, like always. My chest tightened as I typed back. I already paid the deposit. That was my gift. I can't add more. Her reply came instantly. "Don't make this a big deal. It's just money. Just money." Easy for her to say when it wasn't hers. A few days later, I turned to mom, hoping she'd understand. Sitting at the kitchen table, with her coffee steaming between us, I asked, "Did you know Megan expects me to pay more?" She sighed, the way she always did when I brought up anything unpleasant. "Honey, you know Megan's under a lot of stress. Don't add to it. If you can help, you should." There it was again, the unspoken rule. Stay quiet. Carry the weight. Let Megan shine. But the breaking point came with Dad's call. At first, his voice was warm, even cheerful. "Sweetheart, we're all pitching in for Megan and Alex's wedding gift. It's a down payment on their first house. Your share will be $2,000. Just transfer it to me." I gripped the phone so tightly my hand hurt. "Dad," I said slowly, "I'm not even invited to the wedding anymore." Silence. Then his voice hardened. "This isn't about the wedding, Clara. It's about family. Don't punish your sister over one little seating issue." One little seating issue. My exclusion, my work, my money, all reduced to nothing in a single phrase. And soon, the humiliation went public. Scrolling Instagram one night, I froze. My cousin had posted photos from Megan's bridal shower at the same garden cafe I had scouted months before. Bridesmaids in matching dresses, the decor eerily familiar. I helped plan it all. Champagne glasses clinking, wide smiles, Megan glowing in the middle of the photo. The caption said, "The A-team celebrating the bride-to-be." I wasn't in the picture. I wasn't part of the A-team. I closed the app, my throat dry, my hands trembling. For the first time, it wasn't just sadness. It was something sharper, colder, anger buzzing under my skin like electricity. 10 days before the wedding, my phone rang again. Megan's voice burst out the moment I answered. "The band just canceled. Their singer got sick. Clara, you need to fix this. The wedding is in 10 days. Do something." Her demand was so casual, like I was still working for her. Like she hadn't erased me from her big day. I drew in a steady breath. "I'm not your planner anymore, Megan." Silence. Then a shriek. "Are you kidding me? After everything I've done for you? You're really going to be this petty?" I didn't argue. I hung up. The click echoed through the room. For once, I hadn't caved. And in that silence, something became clear. This wasn't just about a wedding anymore. This was about my worth, about whether I'd keep letting them use me until nothing was left. That night, lying awake, I made a choice. They thought I was powerless, the quiet fixer in the shadows. But they had no idea how much power I really had. The days that followed blurred into a strange calm, fueled by rage. For years, I'd been the fixer, absorbing every demand. But that call with Megan, the way she screeched at me, the way my parents expected me to pour more money into a wedding I wasn't even invited to, it snapped something inside me. I sat at my kitchen table, surrounded by neat stacks of contracts, invoices, receipts. 6 months of work. And every one of them was signed under my business name, Collins Events LLC. Venue, caterer, florist, linens, everything. At the time, it was just how I operated. Keep personal and professional separate. But as I scanned the pages, one detail jumped out like a lifeline. Final payments were due exactly 7 days before the event. If they weren't paid, the contracts were void, which meant the wedding didn't belong to Megan. It belonged to me. Still, I needed to be certain. I called Sarah, my friend and attorney, the one who helped me draft those contracts years ago. We met in a little cafe downtown, the air filled with espresso and cinnamon. I slid the folder across the table, trying to look calm even as my hands shook. Sarah flipped through the pages, her expression steady. After a few minutes, she looked up. "Ava, you're the client of record. Legally, they report to you. If the balance isn't paid, you can cancel. The deposits go back into your business account." Her words hit me like a shock and a relief all at once. I wasn't powerless. I wasn't just the sister they could discard. I was the one holding the strings. "Is it petty if I use that?" I whispered. Sarah shook her head. "It's not petty, it's business. They treated your work like it was nothing. You have every right to pull it away." That night, I sat alone in the glow of my laptop. The cursor blinked, daring me. I drafted 4 emails, one for each vendor. Polite, professional, free of emotion. As the client on record for the event scheduled August 30th, I am writing to inform you I will not be submitting final payment as outlined in our contract. Please consider this notice of cancellation effective immediately. Refund the deposit to my business account on file. I read them again and again, heart pounding. This wasn't revenge born of rage. It was clean, precise, me claiming my power. I scheduled the emails for 9 a.m. sharp, 7 days before the wedding. When I closed my laptop, a calm settled over me. Outside, the city lights flickered. Distant car horns echoed. For once, their chaos wasn't mine to carry. The next morning, I woke to my alarm, poured myself coffee, and sat by the window. At exactly 9 o'clock, the emails went out. No fireworks, no dramatic music, just polite digital goodbyes traveling through cyberspace. For a few hours, silence. I imagined vendors opening their inboxes, reading my words, making calls. By noon, Megan's phone must have started ringing. One by one, the dominoes fell. I sipped my coffee steady, calm. For the first time, I wasn't waiting for their approval. I was waiting for the sound of everything they took for granted collapsing. It began with a call from the venue manager. Harrison's name lit up Megan's phone just as she was picking nail colors with her bridesmaids. I wasn't there, of course, but I could picture it, the way she laughed at first, assuming it was a mistake. The way her smile slipped when he spoke in a clipped, businesslike voice. I'm sorry, Miss Collins. We received a cancellation notice from Collins Events. Your reservation has been released. Not long after, the caterer called, then the florist, then the linen company, each with the same polite but crushing message: no payment, no wedding. Eventually, my own phone buzzed nonstop across the counter until I finally picked it up. Megan's name lit the screen. I let it ring twice before answering, set it to speaker, and leaned back in my chair, calm, even as the storm broke on the other end. What the hell did you do? Megan's voice cracked into a shriek. I could hear chaos behind her, my mother yelling, my father's booming voice shaking the house. The venue just canceled. The caterer too. They all said you shut it down. I took a slow sip of coffee before replying. I didn't do anything. I just chose not to make the final payments. You told me I wasn't welcome at your wedding, Megan. So I stepped out, me and my business. You ruined my wedding just to get back at me, she screeched, panic scraping her throat raw. No, I said evenly. You ruined your own wedding when you decided I didn't deserve a place at the table. You can't erase me, use me, and still expect me to stand behind you. Silence. Then my mother cut in, furious. Ava, how dare you? This is your sister's big day. Fix this now. I can't, I said, calm to the point of gentleness, which only made them angrier. The contracts are canceled. The deposits are already back in my account. It's over. You'll return that money, my father roared, so loud I had to pull the phone from my ear. No, I said firmly. That money was never a gift. It was business, and I'm finished letting you treat me like unpaid labor. For the first time, I didn't scramble, didn't apologize. My words landed heavy, final. On the other end, Megan broke down, sobs jagged, furious, desperate. You don't understand what you've done. Guests are already here. Alex's family flew in. And somehow, I cut in, voice sharper now, there was no room for me. Do you hear yourself? You erased me, and still expected me to carry you. Her sobs twisted into venom. You're pathetic. Jealous. You'll die alone with your spreadsheets and contracts. No one will ever love you like we love Megan. That one hurt, I won't lie. But I kept steady. Maybe, I whispered. But at least I'll never beg scraps of love from people who only know how to take. Silence. No scream, no sob, just silence. And in that pause, I knew they finally understood. This wasn't a tantrum. This wasn't a phase. This was the end of me being their doormat. I ended the call myself, pressing the red button with a hand that no longer trembled. The next few days blurred into angry voicemails, bitter texts, even threats. My father showed up once, pounding the lobby door of my apartment, demanding I come fix their mess. I stayed upstairs, lights out, watching from the window until he left. For once, I didn't fold. Then came the wedding day, or what should have been. While Megan and my parents scrambled, begging vendors, switching venues, piecing scraps together, I sat at the airport with my suitcase. Boarding pass in hand, coffee at my side, I turned my phone to silent and handed it across the counter. As the plane lifted into the sky, I thought of Megan in her white dress, standing in an empty hall with no flowers, no music, no food. It wasn't revenge, it was justice. Justice that comes when someone finally refuses to be used. By the time my phone buzzed again, 40 new messages, 70 missed calls. I was already soaring over the Pacific, sunlight sparkling across the water. For the first time in years, the chaos wasn't mine to fix. The strangest part of walking away. How light it felt. I expected guilt, regret maybe, but instead I felt space. Like I could finally breathe without their weight crushing my chest. Word trickled back later. A cousin messaged, stunned. Megan's wedding had collapsed into a chaotic backyard scramble. Plastic Walmart tablecloths. Pizza delivery instead of dinner. Half the guests leaving early. Barely a photo on social media, except one grainy shot of Megan, looking more furious than joyful. My parents tried one last guilt trip. A long email full of blame. Family sticks together. You embarrassed us. You ruined her day. I read it once, then deleted it. No response needed. Meanwhile, the refunded deposit sat safely in my account. Proof that my work hadn't been wasted. It had been reclaimed. With that money, I reinvested in my business. I booked clients who valued me, who thanked me, who paid without hesitation. But the best part wasn't the business. It was peace. I walked along a Hawaiian beach at sunrise, sand cool under my feet, the horizon endless and calm. For once, I wasn't bending to someone else's demands. I was just living. I thought of my grandmother, the only family who had ever truly seen me. She always said, "Your worth isn't in what you give away, but in what you hold on to." Standing there with the waves at my ankles, I finally understood. They had lost me completely, and I hadn't lost a thing. Family can wound in ways strangers never could. They know where to cut deepest, and for years I let them. But sometimes the bravest thing you can do isn't fixing the mess, it's walking away. I didn't destroy my sister's wedding. I just stopped holding it up. And in that, I learned something I should have known all along. My value was never theirs to define. If you ever had to stand up to family who tried to erase you, or protect your peace at the cost of belonging, know this, you are not alone. Share your story in the comments. I'll be reading them. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just remind you of your own strength.